With a million podcasts out there, with great food, you chose toilets and titles. We get fantasy football advice to get your crap team to the finals. From Nick's Consoletti persona and his unapologetic love for Charlie, Justin's hatred for Chris Ballard. Our show is as good as a belly rub. Mark is the best of the NFC West, putting down pen when deep with his love for the Rams. Grab a whiskey or a beer, we're glad you're here. Welcome to the family, but plan for gibberish and rambling. We have recent news and games of the week. We talk PPR and weekly streams. Start them and sit them, keep them or quit them. Hit the like and sub buttons for the fellas. Got any suggestions, just tell us.
And welcome back to Toilets Titles. My name is Justin Stevens. Thank you for tuning in. That's our reggae intro for those of you that don't recognize the background beat there. But I don't know what's happened to this show. Coach has been gone officially for like 3 weeks, and we're playing reggae music. But this is Toilets Titles, fantasy football show. Again, million podcasts out there, a million shows right now on YouTube. You chose to watch us. We greatly appreciate that. I'm here with Mark and Nate, and we're here for another mini mock. So essentially the way the mini mocks are working, we're just taking all 32 teams. We're narrowing them down to just 8 teams each week, and we're only drafting fantasy drafts from those 8 teams. We'll get to that more in a minute. But for now, Mark, man, how was your week, buddy?
It was great. I had a pub crawl on Saturday. Had a golf tournament for work on Monday, so had a pretty good overall weekend. A lot of drinking.
Nice. I love it. So for those that don't know, a pub crawl is?
A pub crawl is where you start in the town up by where I live in Watkins Glen. There's like probably 15 so bars on a long stretch of the road. So we just start at one, grab a drink there, and then hit every other bar.
Now, is that the Watkins Glen up there where they don't know how to NASCAR race because they throw in right turns also?
That's the same Watkins Glen.
Wow, nice. I did that, and that just excited my man Nate up there. You can tell by his red beard that he's a NASCAR fan.
Quite the opposite. I'm not a NASCAR fan. I've watched it from time to time. I get tired of the left turns. I do watch dirt track racing, I guess, which is still left turns, but whatever. It doesn't matter. But yeah, I'm happy to be here. It's a stellar Tuesday night, and we got football in 2 days.
Yeah, we do. Heck yeah, we do. And that's actually one of the news items. So football starts in 2 days. We got it's the Bears and the Texans, and who cares? But at least that just means we're that much closer to actual football. So right on. So all the starters are sitting, at least on the Bears side officially. I'm sure it's going to be the same for the Texans. But since we're on the Texans, I do want to mention, just because today's draft, the mock draft is just only for AFC South and NFC South teams, players that are on those teams. I'm going to go ahead and bring up defensive lineman Danico Audrey. This is his 3rd AFC South team. That's why I thought it was relevant. 6-game violation suspension of the substance abuse policy. So he's going to be out the first 6 games, and he's slotted to be a starting defensive lineman for the Texans. Texans had a much improved defense last year. I think it was even more improved by how powerful the offense was. Danico Audrey isn't a huge name in the NFL, but he's not a bad starting player. So it is kind of a hit for that team. They needed depth at that position. They went out and got Autry. They anticipated him to be huge for them, and he's going to be out the first 6 games. So as a Colts fan, I have mixed feelings, because he's playing for a rival, but he also used to be a Colt, and he seemed like a really super solid player for us, and I hated to see him go. So, but that is relevant news for this particular draft, so I thought I'd throw it out there. But the first big news I want to talk about, which also isn't big news because this is training camp, not a whole lot to talk about, but J.J. McCarthy and Sam Darnold are sharing first team reps in training camp for the Vikings, and we have a Frankenstein contestant. That's the Frankenstein Listener League that has, like several different divisions and all that sort of stuff. But the Frankenstein Listener League, we have a guy by the name of Popes. His name's actually Jeremy. He goes by Popes, at Popes FFH on Twitter. You can see his official quote down there on Twitter, but X, the artist formerly known as Twitter. But essentially, I'm going to paraphrase. He says that Darnold has the talent to keep the starting job while he's there with that team in Minnesota around him. And I kind of tend to agree, because I also saw tweets where J.J. McCarthy had really good passes and he looked really solid and all this. Like, everybody's trying to talk him up. But if you watch those plays, like even that deep touchdown, he underthrew the receiver. The receiver had to stop and come back for it to get that deep touchdown. He just has talented receivers. I don't know. Now, I do know that one particular person on this panel is a bit of a J.J. McCarthy fan. So what I want to know is, can he still play at a good enough level to beat out Sam Darnold if he doesn't get to hand it off to his running back 60 times a game?
I hope so, because if you can't beat out Sam Darnold, we were talking about Sam Darnold winning the job from Brock Purdy last year too, right?
Well, who said that? I don't think I ever.
People were talking about it before the season. Oh, Sam Darnold's good, and he's still good. No, it's Sam Darnold. If JJ can't beat out Sam Darnold, then I don't know how we won a national championship last year.
So what if Sam Darnold was bad in New York because it was New York? And what if Sam Darnold wasn't bad in San Francisco? He just wasn't as good as Purdy. And what if just being just below Purdy is good enough to be better than J.J. McCarthy?
Don't forget about
that seems like
Carolina.
Where did Purdy get drafted?
I'm going to forget about the stop in Carolina.
When was Purdy drafted?
Oh, yeah. You mean
Mr.
what do you mean?
Right?
I didn't know if you meant the year, but yeah. So
Mr. Irrelevant. So
sure, but we see first round.
But he's not good enough to pass Mr. Irrelevant, and then it's Sam Darnold.
Yeah?
JJ will have the job before halfway through the season.
So you say halfway through the season, so that's week 7. He's half of 17. Like we'll say week 8.5. So I'll even give you. I'll give you week 9, and we'll put it on the board. I will give you by week 9, and we'll put that on the board. But
put it on the board.
Where are you at with that, Nate?
I don't think he plays till later than that. I don't know if he will play. It feels like, whether. I'm a Michigan fan. I didn't know you're a Michigan fan. That's cool. We're both Michigan fans. So even better.
Go blue.
I didn't know. It just feels like they want to make sure he's ready. And he may be ready, but if they're 4-7, it's like, do we even bring him in here? Is it worth it? And I'm sure they will. And because I'm sure by week 2, when Sam Darnold's thrown 3 interceptions, already, that the fans will be clamoring for JJ. But I don't know. I'm kind of on the side where I think that they're just going to ride the Sam Darnold horse and see what happens.
And I'll say this: if Minnesota's offensive line can't hold up, Darnold will get destroyed. Where I think McCarthy's mobile enough where he can make a few things happen there.
They did just play Darisaw a lot of money, so that's good. But
the Vikings do have a tough schedule to start the season. I will say that. So if they come out rocky and they're off to a 2-5 start, is a strong potential from looking at their schedule right now. They've got the Giants on the road. They could probably still handle that one, but then they've got the Vikings. They've got the 49ers. They've got the Texans. The Packers are on the road, divisional game. Then they've got the Jets, so we'll see there. But I think the Jets could probably handle them with a healthy Aaron Rodgers, and then they're probably going to get beat by the Lions, and the Rams are on the road against the Rams, and then they'll be going up against the Joe Flacco-led Colts by then, so they'll have a shot to start bouncing back by then. But so the first part of that season, that's rough, but Darnold will play the whole season. See, I agree with Rich. I think at the end of the day, even if it's a super rough start, I don't know if you want to throw your rookie out there. And like I say, he's just not looking that good in camp to me personally. I'm going to go with the side that JJ does not see the starting quarterback position before week 9. So
let me ask you this.
Rich. Yo.
Are the Vikings winning a playoff game with Sam Darnold at quarterback?
I don't think they win with JJ McCarthy.
That's not where I'm going, though. I'm saying, Are they going to win a game with Sam Darnold? If you don't think so, then why not play the rookie quarterback you just drafted and put him out there? Like, again, I think we talked about this last time. Like, if your quarterback is going to lose his confidence in a few weeks just because they're a bad team, he's not your franchise quarterback to begin with. So I'd rather find that out real quick than wait a whole season with a quarterback who's not going to get me anywhere and wait for year 2.
I think my biggest concern is, regardless of team, I mean, whether it's the Patriots, whether it's the Commanders, anybody with these rookies, like my thing, it's not necessarily getting them rattled with their confidence. Like, like grow up, you're a goddamn gosh darn grown up, and like, figure it out. But I don't want them to get their butt kicked and just be like, just get the hell beat out of them. That's my worry with a bad team more than anything. I think, anyways, is not necessarily their confidence, but just their body. Yeah, Rich knows. Rich is saying in the comments.
My answer to your question is the reason why is because Jordan is because Kevin O'Connell, like, he doesn't want to lose his job, and this is year 3 of his job. So we know that that's a pivotal year for NFL coaches. Like, if you have a horrible, horrible season with the first round pick that you had a part of getting, then that's going to look really bad on you. But if you can somehow scrape together 5, 6, 7 wins while using the excuse of holding the rookie until next year when he's had more time in prep, you might be able to save your job. So that's kind of a lot of it for me too. So if they start off looking that bad, and he knows that it's not going to be that much of an improvement, if any, going to McCarthy, then he might be choosing to lose his job by starting him too. But we also don't know the politics of what's going on in the locker room. Obviously, we're all just throwing out our opinions for shits and giggles. But Justin Fields has been looking pretty good in camp. So all of a sudden, Russell Wilson's calf isn't feeling all that too bad after all. So he comes in on a limited basis for practice today. So Russ Wilson back on the field. I've always said I didn't think that Justin Fields was nearly as bad as what we saw in Chicago. But is he at this point in their careers better than Russell Wilson with this offense around him?
I think Justin Fields is as bad of a quarterback as we saw in Chicago. I think as a fantasy community want to make him into something because he scores us points in fantasy, right? He runs all over the place, but he's not a good NFL quarterback. And I also think Russell Wilson, for as big of a shit show as Denver was last year, had a pretty decent season there. So I do think at this point right now, Russell Wilson is the better quarterback for that team. Now, if he's hurt, he's hurt. That's a whole nother story.
Yeah. Nate, you a Russ fan?
No, not at all. I think
I knew that. That's why I asked.
I think he's kind of a bum. And I watched a lot of Justin Fields the last couple of years. There's a lot of things he's good at. He's got the intangibles that you like. He's got a big arm. He's fast, but there's a lot of things he struggles with, and it seemed like he always struggled with. And that's not me just being a Bears hater, like going through his progressions. That he seemed like it needed to be like one look, and that's what we're doing, or we're done. And he struggled with that accuracy at times, and it just seems like his eyes were always down. He didn't, and that could be, like I said, the team around him. But I think maybe things will turn around. Maybe, like I said, he's got there's some good to him, but I don't know. I just think Russ is going to start. I don't know. Rich says Fields is starting, but
I can't see Fields starting unless Russell gets hurt. I don't see Tomlin being the one to bench him.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true. I will say that it would be difficult for me to answer my own question there when I said that is Justin at this point a better quarterback than Russ in their careers.
I think
But
you are, yes.
as as far as who's going to start anyway, as far as who's going to be on the field, even maybe, well, definitely for fantasy, it's going to be Justin Fields because of his legs. But I will say this: I believe that Justin is a better quarterback than what we saw in Chicago. I still believe that. Like I firmly have to believe that because I've been saying it for the last few years, and I don't want to be wrong. So I'm going to go back to the board bet here. So here's what I've got. For the games that Justin Fields does start, if he does happen to get to start, for those games, his passing yards, not even talking about his rushing, his passing yards per game will be in the top 15 in the NFL because I do think that he's still better than half of the NFL. Anybody want to take me up on that?
Yeah, without a doubt,
I'll take it. I'll take, yeah.
I mean,
all right.
Last year when DJ Moore came to town and all the Bears fans were saying he's going to get or he's MVP, going Super Bowl and all that dumb stuff like they do every year. He actually had a worse year passing with DJ Moore than the previous year. And I know he was hurt, but just like game by game, like he actually had a worse year. So,
and I think it's like Nate said earlier, a lot of it's with the whole progression thing. Like you said, he has a big arm. So in college, he didn't really have to go through the progression. It was either a run pass option or his wide receivers were talented enough against lower level cornerbacks that they could just blow by him and he'd chuck it down the field. Yeah. There wasn't a lot of reading going on.
Fair enough. That's also both very fair. And after hearing that, luckily, it's not like we're betting money on these. Cowboys defensive back Trayvon Diggs appears to be healthy and back. He is off of the PUP list, so that's good news for Cowboys fans. Good news for Giants fans, and I do mean this when I say it. Brian Daboll has taken over the play calling in camp and has taken over offensive meetings. And the Giants offense is actually looking very okay. Like they've had some nice-ish plays. So good news there. And I don't think it doesn't seem like anyway that it's just because Brian Daboll wants more FaceTime on Hard Knocks. It really does seem like
I'm sorry, I gotta say it. I love that guy. I do. I love that guy. And I always have, not just Hard Knocks Daboll, like prior to. I like that guy.
Yeah, me too. I do. He reminds us all of just the everyday guy getting the opportunity to be an NFL coach. So that's why we love him. So it is what it is. And starting Danny DeVito's nephew didn't hurt anything either. So
heck no.
Let's see. So guys, that's pretty much the news. Nothing major, nothing super huge. I do want to remind everybody, if you're going to the Fantasy Football Expo, guys, that is a week and a half away. Mark and I are going to be there with a whole crew of about 18 people staying at our 4 Airbnbs. And we've got a lot of festivities planned up and lined up and ready to go. And if you do not already have your tickets yet, I do want to throw this down here. Make sure you reach out to Bob Lung. That's at Bob_Lung. That expo is between August 9th and 11th, but you can purchase your tickets on the Fantasy Football Expo website. Actually, I looked it up earlier today to send it to a buddy. Actually, I think it was Rich. But the FF Expo, the website is thefantasyfootballexpo.com. Probably should have had that ready, but fantasyfootballexpo.com is where you'll purchase all of your tickets. And if you're following this show, you're subscribed to this show on YouTube, you're following us on X, that's at Toilets and Titles, as you can see right under my Twitter handle here. Then shoot me a DM. I can get you a little passcode to get you that actual Sunday Expo for free if you're just buying the Sunday Expo ticket. So I've got that for you as well. Let's see. Oh, yeah, and if you are going Friday night at the Friday night party, it starts at 6 p.m. at the Centennial Park in Canton, Ohio, at the Jerseys there. There's like a Jerseys restaurant there. Swing by that Jerseys. in the tinted area, check out our fantasy football or our Frankenstank Fantasy League live draft board that we're going to have up, posted and ready to go to check out. And that's right, the Frito did make an announcement today in the Discord that he will be there, guys. So if you haven't bought your tickets yet, yeah, now you have reason to, because he will not do shots with you. That's an inside joke. I know better. That's Jason and George's thing with him. I know he'll do shots with you. Let's see. Yep, he's all in on Vanilla Vic. I know. I thought that was one of Nate's favorite nicknames for Daniel Jones, Vanilla Vic.
I've never heard that. I kind of like that though. I can't believe I haven't heard that.
You really? I thought you were the one I heard it from.
No, I like it though.
All right, guys, let's get ready to draft here. I'm gonna pull up our draft board as soon as I can remember which one it was. All right, so just like last week, we have a list of all the players that are in the AFC South and the NFC South, and we will be drafting. I already pre-spun the wheel, and I got the 101 this time. I think Nate got it last time, and then it'll be Nate second and Mark third. I think you got third last week too.
What's going on here? All this is being done off air. That's 2 weeks in a row I'm in the last spot. I think there's some shady business going on.
I was gonna talk about that. So what I figured I would do, since you're kind of getting, but here's the thing though, the last draft though, you were able to double up Jalen Hurts with Saquon Barkley on that turn. So I'm not sure that it was such a raw deal for you. But what I'm gonna do is next week we're doing the West, and you've got your team, the Rams, in there. So I'm gonna let you have the 101 next week.
Oh, sorry, okay. I thought you were going
to and then we'll let Nate have the 101 back again the following week, because we're going to be doing the North where his Packers are. But I promise you, it's been random up to this point. I'll randomize the other two picks the next 2 weeks, but you'll have it next week. Nate will have it the last week, and we'll randomize. But this was fair. This was honest. I don't care how much you trust me or not. All right, so PPR rules. We don't know all the rules because I'm going to mostly just like copy and paste whatever we end up in my home league. I do kind of feel like there's a good chance. Like I'm going to try to push. Okay, let me explain. In my home league, we always vote on the rules before the draft in a rules meeting. This year we didn't have time to do a rules meeting, so we're going to do it right before the draft. I'm going to be trying to push to try to get return yards as a option for fantasy points. So that is something to consider here. I don't know if it's going to get voted in or not, but those are like our fourth and fifth receiver anyway. It is PPR.
What do you guys typically do for quarterback? 6 or 4 on touchdowns?
6, and that'll probably stay. Yeah, that'll probably stay. And whether it's super flex or not, I don't know, but we'll still draft super flex. We're going to start 2 quarterback. It's just the point scoring that really the only real difference might come would be the kick return. So, let's see. All right, so I'm up first, and I almost highlighted this one and put it in there just so that I wouldn't overthink it or forget about them. But for me, it's a redraft league. Even though it's best ball format, I go running back heavy usually pretty early and often. And Bijan Robinson is the best guy on this board at the running back position. He's the best guy on this board at all of the other positions, in my opinion, for fantasy points purposes. So I'm going to go with Bijan with the 101, and we'll see how the dominoes fall from here. But Nate, I feel like this is really where the draft starts to come into play, because I see like 3 guys that I'd like to have at the number 2 spot. So what are you thinking?
If you're going to take Bijan, I'll take CJ Stroud.
All right, so you're going to keep up with that 2 quarterback. I noticed last week you did the same thing. You went quarterback. I also went running back early. So, Mark, are you going to follow up on the turn here with another quarterback running back combo?
He told me he wants Bryce Young.
I think he made it pretty easy for me. I'm going to go Jonathan Taylor and Chris Olave.
Oh, nice.
Oh, all right. There you go. Right on. I like it.
I'm glad that Chris Olave. I was worried you were going to take 2 running backs. I'm hoping that Travis Etienne has the big year that I would just love for him to have. That's where I'm going with my second pick is Travis Etienne. You see a lot of flashes, and I don't know, it just seems like it maybe this now's the time. So I hope. He's probably the 3rd best running back out of this group, I think, anyways. So maybe.
Gotcha. I'm drawing a blank, man.
Second one on top.
And then left of that.
Right there.
Yeah. Okay. I was trying to think of the strategy and I missed the player when you were talking.
Never paying attention to me. I get it.
Yeah, no, I kind of was. But once you started talking running back, though, I started to kind of fade because I was trying to decide between running back or wide receiver here because I was either going to double up on my running backs and just have all 3 done and out of the way. But I was really trying to study this wide receiver list now that the 101, and you did get the best wide receiver on the board, in my opinion, with Chris Olave. But this is kind of a weaker set of divisions here, in my opinion, for the wide receiver position. But I do want to try to snag. So we all like the Houston Texans wide receivers. I just kind of feel like I have my order of the 3, and I'm sure you guys do too. But I think any one of them, any given week, can have a great week. And with this being like a overall points for by the end of the season sort of thing, I think they're all going to be pretty similar. I don't think there's enough there for me to want to reach out and get one of the Texans guys yet, right off the bat. And then also at the tight end position, also still kind of a little bit slim as well. And believe it or not, I'm actually considering tight end because I really, especially in PPR, as much as I feel like they're going to use Kyle Pitts in a lot of different roles, I'm going to let him bite me again this year. So he's gonna kill me again this year. And then I'm going to go with the touchdown consistent monster here.
Son of a gun.
And Mike Evans.
Down there.
Nice.
Well,
I love Mike Evans. I love Mike Evans. Well.
All right, Nate.
Now I just kind of don't know where to go here. But I think what I'll do is take I'll go for it. Give me Tank Dell. We'll see what happens. I don't know which one it is. I don't believe in Steph Diggs that much, so I'll try Tank Dell.
I said I had my list, and Tank Dell is number 1 on mine of the 3. So, how about you, Mark? Was he number 1 of the 3 on yours?
No. I still have Nico up top.
Oh, all right.
Michigan.
I like Diggs. Like I said, I like Diggs for the first half of the season, and then, but since we got to keep him for the whole year, I probably won't be taking him in this format. But wow, you guys left a lot of options here for me. I was not.
Yeah, I didn't go running back at all. Nate only took 1, so you still have a big pick there. There's only 1 quarterback off the board, only 1 tight end off the board.
I think
you got a lot of options.
I'm going to take Drake London. I thought coming out of the draft, I thought he was the most talented receiver in his draft class, but he had nobody to throw him the ball, and I'm expecting a lot more with Kirky there now.
Cousins.
Yeah.
Just circling over here to remind you guys.
I think with that wide receiver core, I'm not going to take another one here, and I am going to go running back, and I think Joe Mixon's in for a big year in Houston.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
That's where I was going to go.
Oh, well, that makes me feel better because I was regretting not taking him on that turn. I thought, I'll get him on the next turn. But if you were both going to take him, then, yeah, cool.
Oh, yeah. Where to go now? I guess. Shoot. I'm kind of lost now. What do I want to do? Can you scroll down? What's that? Go to the tight end real quick. The problem is the tight end I want is really going to make me have way too many Texans. I guess it really doesn't matter. Healthy. Give me old Dutch Schultz. I don't care. That's my guy.
Yeah, you can get Brevin Jordan later too.
Yeah, I'll pick him next. I don't care. I got that many. It's fine. Bye week will hurt. But it's okay.
All right, let's see. So running backs need 3. I definitely want at least 2 good ones. I kind of have more of a dark horse later that I'm kind of hoping doesn't get taken, but in PPR this late, I'm going to go with Alvin Kamara, get the consistent, steady points. I know it was a little less consistent last year, but what's that?
I said smart pick.
Yep.
I like it.
I'm not worried about quarterbacks in this format, to be honest with you, because I saw 6 that I like well enough, and CJ Stroud was the only one that I really wanted as the one there. In this format with these quarterbacks, there is a solid 2, but I think that there's a few others that are going to be close enough to him that I'm not too aggressively worried. Let's see. I want to go with man. See, that's the thing. Like that now, like all the other positions, the players are just ugly enough that I might be tempted to take a running back again.
Hey, how many games is Richardson going to play? Is it worth me taking Flacco here or what? I mean, you think Richardson gets 4 games in?
I think I mean maybe 6 or 7, maybe.
I can't take
the thing is like everybody wants to talk about how he was a rookie, he'll learn how to slide. Like, first off, his injury didn't come because he didn't slide, right? His injury, I mean, it was in his shoulder, his throwing shoulder from scar tissue, and it was building up. It was already hurting before he took that dive. Had he slid, he was still on the path of missing games because he had already injured it. He was just trying to finish out the game and see what was going to happen. And he hasn't had a healthy season since his sophomore year of high school. And it's not because of sliding. Sometimes it's his knee. Sometimes it's off of the field. Like the guy's made of glass. Like it just, I'm not at all touching him anywhere in any redraft league. So yeah, you can have him. But don't be stepping on my Joe Flacco, man.
I love Joe Flacco.
But these running backs, I can only start one, or I can only get one more. There's 2 more I really, really want. Do I go with the rookie and Jonathan Brooks that I think is going to take over a starting role pretty early, but there is a lot of depth there in that backfield? Or do I go with the Tyjae Spears that I think is going to be the number 1 in Tennessee? And he's also been on the show, and I really like the guy, and we got to interview him at the Senior Bowl. So heartstrings, I don't want to take a chance you guys are going to take him. I'm going to go with Tyjae Spears, so now I'm done with my running backs.
That's who I was going to take. Thanks.
Sweet.
Michael Pittman, I guess. I don't know. That's like the only number 1 left. I don't really trust old Jeans in Tennessee, so.
Yeah, I think Pittman will be pretty consistent and solid most weeks with or without whoever's at quarterback. Probably would have been my wide receiver pick, actually. Go ahead, Mark.
I'm going to have to take them now because I only had 2 tight ends that I actually liked on the board, and it was Pitts and Ingram, so I'm going to take Ingram.
Nice. So I was wondering, Nate, if you just missed Ingram on that list, because I feel like that's a much better tight end than Dalton Schultz.
It's not.
All right. Not.
Dutch is – just wait. He's a dog. He has been. I don't trust Evan Ingram. Never have.
All right. Anybody watching, just know that the consensus here is that the other 2 really like Evan Ingram.
Yeah, that's fine. That's okay.
Yeah.
All right, Mark.
I feel like I would take a running back here, but I feel like with yours closed out, Nate's going to have 2 picks coming back. I got to take one now. I thought he had 2. He has 1, so he could take 2, and I would not be happy. So I'm going to take Rashad White here.
Yep. Pretty solid starter there.
Yep.
For fantasy purposes, especially.
Yep.
And PPR. Yep. I like it.
I guess I don't have to take my running back now. You guys are all locked out, so I can wait for a while.
Yep.
What do we need here? How about, I said I wouldn't do it, but you know what? I'll take Chris Godwin. That'll work. He's always been pretty solid. Not as solid as Mike Evans, but I like what Baker did last year with those guys, so I'm okay with that.
All right. I almost pivoted and went quarterback, even though I said I was going to wait. But I'm kind of surprised that these two wide receivers both fell to this position here. So I'm going to go ahead and take them right now. I'm going to go ahead and take Nico, just because I feel like if I wait much longer, he's going to be gone. Even Nate will take another Texan.
Oh yeah, why not?
Still there soon. And then let's see. There he is. I think Christian Kirk's going to have a pretty solid season again this year. It's going to be another wide receiver 2 for fantasy purposes across the board, at least with some wide receiver 1 upside. So I'll take him this late. I like it.
I was going to take Nico with my last pick if I didn't go running back there. So nice pick.
Gotcha.
I think I'll just take another receiver. I think Darnell Mooney. I think things are going to go well for him with Kirk. He's got speed and kind of take the top off the defense and let the slowest 2 players in the league, and Drake London, stay down low. So I think it'll be, I think it'll work out well for him. So.
And you got the really good potential for awesome fantasy football names with that one.
For sure.
Mark back to back.
I mean, I know we say he falls off, but I think it's a little crazy that Diggs is this far down. I'm going to take Diggs, and I'm going to take another receiver and go Ridley here.
You got it. I like Ridley this late as well, for sure.
I see where I stand with it.
Is between Ridley and Kirk for me. All right. Nate, you need one more wide receiver. You need a quarterback and a tight end, and then 2 running backs at the end.
Yeah. Well, scroll down one time before I make this pick. I think I don't know if it's worth it. If it's worth me taking old Taysom Hill, I kind of want to just for George, even though I hate Taysom Hill. But I mean, maybe do I only get tight end points for him?
It depends on how you draft him. I have him on both lists. I'm glad you mentioned that. I have him. If you draft him as a quarterback, he'll be your quarterback. Now, if you draft him as one, the other one disappears. I take it off the list because obviously 2 people can't have Taysom Hill.
But I think what he's asking is, will he get? Like, if Taysom Hill plays as a quarterback, will he get a touchdown pass if he throws it? If he drafts him as a tight end?
Yeah, you'll still get all of the fantasy points.
Oh, well, give me tight end Taysom Hill.
You got it.
That's for George, if he's listening. George is down 40 pounds, and Taysom Hill is going to score me 40 points.
That's right. Congratulations, George. All right. So Nate's tight ends are locked in. I've got a couple of guys that are just guys that are whatever at tight end. I'll probably do that in the last round unless I have something else locked in. I could do wide receivers here again. I keep putting off quarterback, but it keeps falling. And like I said, there is one more that I think is a little above the rest. So at this point, I may as well go ahead and take Trevor Lawrence. Since I have Christian Kirk now, I've got the stack there. Definitely going to wait on the other quarterback well, I don't know. If I take one now, and then because Nate's waiting on running backs, then if Nate takes one, then we might be able to put a little bit of a hurting on Mark here.
They're all the same at this point. Take whatever you want.
No way.
Oh, man.
The amount of points you're getting for one over the other is not that going to be that big of a deal to me. So,
but I really know how much Nate likes Baker Mayfield too, though. Hold on, let me switch screens so I can see his face. Oh, that's the poker face. I should do it. I should really do it. Oh, man.
Hey.
Oh, but I was going to go Joe Flacco in the last round. I'm that confident in the Anthony Richardson injury.
That is strong. That's I like that confidence.
Yeah, you're trying to talk me out of Baker. I'm going to take Baker.
That's fine. I wasn't even gonna take Baker. I wanted Kirk kissing Cousins, my guy.
Oh, you're okay. All right. Is that who you want now, or okay? All right.
Beautiful.
There you go.
Beautiful.
All right, Mark, you get.
I don't even have to
choice
do
of quarterback. Yeah, exactly. You can wait on quarterback. So all you need now is a wide receiver and a running back, and then you'll get your 2 quarterbacks at the end.
So I'm going to tell you my plan. I'm not taking him here, obviously, because I can wait on quarterback. But I knew how much you hate Anthony Richardson, so I feel like he would have fell to the end of the draft for me anyways. And then if I got him, I didn't really care who my second quarterback was going to be.
It should be Joe Flacco. Trust me.
Yeah, not going to.
I'm trying to help you. Okay. All right. I'm trying to help you. Remember that. Whenever Joe Flacco outscores all of the other guys on this list.
Dog.
So,
he's a dog.
Taysom Hill was going to be my sleeper pick here on this turn, but Nate was smart enough to grab him there. So I am going to go. Oh, man. I need how many? 1 receiver.
Yeah, 1 wide receiver. Out of that group.
Yeah. So this is tough because I feel like I should take Deontay Johnson, but I got to go with what I believe in. And I feel like Thomas Jr. is going to have a huge season this year in Jacksonville. Mm-hmm. So I'm going to take him.
Yep.
I feel like if Jacksonville is going to have any kind of success, he's got to have a big year. So I'm going to take him. And then,
so in any given redraft so far this season, when I've been hit with that decision between Kirk and Thomas, it's been a 50-50 split for me, to be honest with you. So the only reason I went Kirk is because of this scoring format, with it being like a season long thing. You know, maybe the rookie start at the beginning, or maybe he has a few bad games here and there. So maybe the consistency of Kirk over the course of the full season. But really, that's the only reason. I think I think this is a good pick this late.
Yeah. So now I need a tight end, and good God.
Any one of them.
Hey, Tommy Tremble, he's good. Tommy Tremble's good. I mean, Bryce Young's not, but Tommy Tremble's good.
Let me steal a couple. Let me steal a couple touchdowns from Justin. Give me Cade Otton.
Oh yeah.
I was gonna say Cade Otton is there, so there you go.
It would be Cade or Chiggy.
I was gonna take Cade Otton instead of Taysom Hill, but I said, you know what, I'm doing this for George, and I took Taysom.
I was gonna go Cade once I took Baker Mayfield. So I still mentioned it, but I really legitimately was gonna take him too. So, but now I can wait on my last tight end, which that's not really a brag at this point.
I don't know why every time I look through the receivers, I just keep seeing DeAndre Hopkins, and I'm like, just let's do it. I don't care. I don't really know what's going on in Tennessee. I'm not a big jeans guy. So if you don't I'm calling Will Levis Levi's jeans. That's what we're calling him. I'm not a big fan of him. I don't know, but Hopkins is still a big target. So, and this late, why not?
So honestly, I was considering Will Levis, and I hear you. I hear you, Nate. Like, I hear you. Nobody wants to trust a guy that puts mayonnaise in his coffee, but
hell no.
But we had the Locked On Titans host for the offseason breakdown episodes a couple of months back, and he was talking about how much this entire offense has changed. They've got a new head coach. They've got a new offense. They've gotten rid of Derrick Henry, and they brought in another receiving back to go along with Tyjae Spears. They're throwing the ball all over the field in this new playbook. They are going to pass. And I'm telling you all this right now before Mark even gets the opportunity to take 2 quarterbacks. And it's not to try to talk you into Will Levis. It's because he deserves to be on this list. So I'm just throwing all that out there because I can't take another quarterback. I'm actually really high on Will Levis right now as far as a sleeper guy late in rounds in actual fantasy leagues. So like if you're in a 2 quarterback league, like right now, I would be taking him as my 3rd quarterback because you want that 3rd guy to be a guy that could potentially have a breakout season, or that 3rd guy to be a guy that's going to get you consistent points, maybe fill in for bye weeks, whatever. I think Will Levis has the opportunity to potentially be a top 15 fantasy football quarterback. So, I've gotten him in a lot of leagues this offseason as that third quarterback. So, just wanted to throw all that out there for the people that are drafting in non-mini mocks.
I see what
and,
you're doing. See, now you're taking credit. You're taking credit for my pick before I even pick it. I would have showed you. I got my list right here. I put 6 quarterbacks on the board, and Levis was the last one of the bunch, right above Derek Carr, right above Bryce Young. He was my sleeper pick.
Yeah, so I'm telling you right now, you need to be taking Will Levis and Joe Flacco.
I know. Well, no, I'm not taking Joe Flacco.
Derek Carr. Look at all these Derek Carr comments.
Yeah, that's Rich's guy.
He left you and forsaked you. I don't know if that's how you say that word. But let's see. Not worried about tight end until the end now. Already have my running back, so I have to go double. I got to double tap the wide receivers here. A couple potential breakout guys here, or potential guys that could maybe do well. I really wanted to take Deontay Johnson on the last time around before I decided to go with the two quarterbacks. And Mark, you were talking about Deontay Johnson when you went Brian Thomas, so I was really worried that you were going to take him. So, and then Nate still has faith in DeAndre Hopkins, so that worked out. And then for my fifth guy, one more time. I took one earlier, right? That I said that I'm going to let him bite me again.
Mike Evans. Oh, you said Kyle Pitts is going to bite you again.
Oh, Kyle Pitts. Yep, one more time. So then the next one now. The game is playing in my head here. Do I go with a guy like Gabe Davis that could potentially have a bigger role in the Bills' offense? Do I go with a guy like A.T. Perry that I think could potentially be a breakout? Do I go Rashid Shaheed or Devin Duvernay for the potential kickoff returns? That sort of thing. So all of that is racking through my brain. I'm going to go ahead and go with Shaheed and see what happens. Just because why not? It's my fifth wide receiver.
Yeah. Now I get to take someone off this awesome running back list.
Yep.
For some reason, I don't know why, if it'll make sense or not, but I think Tyler Algier is still going to have a little bit of a role. Not that I don't know if he really should, but I think he will. So I'll go there. I think I saw something out of camp that, he's gonna have a role, whether that's just to lighten Bijan's load or what. But
it's called the practice squad.
Yeah, pretty much. But I don't know. I thought last year he shows a little bit of pop. I mean, I don't think he's a bad running back. He's just behind a very, very, very good running back.
Yeah. I want to look at something real quick. So the depth chart there at wide receiver, you got Drake London, you got Darnell Mooney, and then Ray McLeod is currently slotted as their wide receiver 3. I have seen Rondell Moore as a wide receiver 3 on that roster in some depth charts this offseason. I don't know if they're going back and forth or if maybe Ray is taking it over, but I'm not opposed to the thought of Tyler Algier taking some slot downs, or even Bijan taking some slot downs with Algier as the running back whenever Kyle Pitts spreads out wide too, because they're using Kyle Pitts all over the field like they usually do. So yeah, he'll have an opportunity to see field time for sure.
I don't remember the last time
I handcuff here.
I don't remember the last time I saw Ray McLeod not do something besides kick return.
I also
or punt return.
Rondell Moore. Moore's the one guy I just can't quit in fantasy.
Yeah,
I always end up with him.
Now's you can't. You already got your guy. 5 guys. Darn it.
Yeah.
I agreed with you, Mark, when you said he's the best handcuff on here, but I forgot about Kendre Miller. I feel like Kendre Miller hasn't really gotten a huge opportunity yet, being behind Alvin Kamara. But coming out of college, the dude, he was lightning in a bottle, and I feel like he could be a powerhouse too. Like right there with Algier. I think they're both solid. Don't get me wrong, but I think and Jamal Williams probably is listed as the number 2 there, but it's Kendre Miller.
I don't know for sure if Kamara got hurt, if Miller would get 100% of the share. Where if Bijan does, Algier is getting 95% of it. You know.
That's probably true. Yeah, I could see that. I think I'd still really want Kendre. That dude is amazing. He's a phenomenal athlete. But yeah, you're probably right.
I think Miller
would get more.
Miller has a better opportunity to provide value outside of like somebody getting hurt.
Yeah. All right, Mark. So you have your running backs, you have your wide receivers, you have your tight ends. You're going to double up with these last 2 quarterbacks here.
Yeah. And I'm going to take Anthony Richardson first just to make you mad. So
I'm not mad at all. I'm happy. We just took his $20.
Yep.
You want to just go ahead and split it now?
Yeah, cool. We get to split a case of beer.
There you go.
And then Will Levis, baby.
Jeans.
All right. There you go. All right, Nate, you have your quarterbacks, you have your tight ends, you have your wide receivers. You need one more running back.
You know, you kept saying all this Kendre Miller talk. The whole time in my head, I was thinking Jonathan Brooks. But and Chuba Hubbard, you know, he's close to my heart because he's a Cowboy. But you know what? No, give me Jonathan Brooks. Give me the rookie. I think I'm kind of with you, Justin. I think Chuba's time is limited.
Yeah, I think Brooks has an opportunity to be a starter this season pretty early on. Like I said, the problem there, just like I said earlier, and as I'm agreeing with you, is Chuba Hubbard's there, Miles Sanders is there. There's another guy on the roster there that's even ahead of Miles Sanders on the depth chart. Yeah, there you go. Well, no, I don't think it's him. At least not the depth chart I saw. He might still be on the team, but that's deep.
Jonathan Brooks is the number 2 on the depth chart right now.
Right. I'm saying
the injury he brought in from last year.
No.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true.
Nobody on that roster is as talented as Jonathan Brooks is as a running back, like in the running back room.
Yeah.
Chuba Hubbard and Miles Sanders aren't on his level.
All right, so the last item I'm going to take here, I feel like the safety net pick here would be Juwan Johnson just because he is still the starter there, and if he's healthy, he's going to get the better opportunity. But I think he's still only going to get me like 40 points all year, like even though it's safe. So I don't think I'm losing much by dodging the safe pick here. I'm going to go with a guy that was hurt all last year. The Colts took Jelani Woods, I believe, in the 3rd round a couple years ago. And Woods was starting to progress very nicely his rookie year. He does have injury issues. He has injury concerns because he had a little bit of injury issues his rookie year. Yeah, he's a Colt, so it's a fan pick here. The injury. Yeah, you're right. Yep, that's just kind of that's the medical doctors in Indianapolis. They suck. Or for the Colts, like there's a lot of really good medical doctors in Indianapolis. The Colts are just refusing to hire the good ones. Jelani Woods looked like he was gonna finally be the guy. Like if you look, I put Jelani Woods on this list. I also put Will Mallory. I also put Kylan Granson. I also put Mo Alley Cox. Mo Alley Cox right now is currently listed as the number 1 tight end, and he is a huge number 2, period. Like he's not a good tight end, and he's listed as the number 1. We have 4 tight end 3s on this roster that could all potentially be the tight end 1. I think Woods has the best potential to break out and be the tight end 1 for the 2024-2025 Pro Bowl quarterback Joe Flacco. He's going to need more targets to help pick up those numbers this season. So I'm going to go with Jelani Woods. That's going to be my homer pick here. As down as I am on the Colts, I mean, look at my roster. Like I only have 1 Colt, and it was Jelani Woods. So I had to take a homer pick somewhere because I'm still going to root for the team. Like I hope I'm wrong. I hope that AR plays. And because if he plays, they're going to be phenomenal. The Colts will be great. They'll have an opportunity to win the division again because he's that good when he plays. But if he doesn't, then I'm right. So I guess maybe I'll still be somewhat happy.
You should have took Flacco. You should have doubled down and took Flacco.
I really thought that Nate wanted Baker. If I would have known he was good, and I should have known kissing cousins. He loves kissing cousins, but
I do.
if I would have really thought about it and saw that he had two options there, I guess I missed Cousins, but I know he likes Mayfield too. I thought I was stepping on his toes. That's the only reason I took it there. But yeah, you're right. I should have went Flacco. I almost did. Chuba will outproduce Brooks. Okay, so I'll take that bet. Does anybody want to take Rich up on that, or even take Rich's side?
Yeah, I'm with you on that one.
I'm with you. Yeah, Brooks all the way.
Okay.
He's saying Hubbard's the back to have. He's the captain. He's also an Oklahoma State fan, so take that with a grain of salt. No offense, Rich. I love the Cowboys too, but
I don't think you can offend Rich. We tried really hard at Canton every year, and you can't offend him.
I didn't tell him I got Pringles in my cupboard that I've been eating at lunch every day, not Frito-Lay chips. So sorry, Rich.
Ooh, that might offend him.
Nate, find a way to cross the
line. Future sponsor of the show, Frito-Lay, that is.
Yeah,
all right. So here's my rundown. I've got at my quarterbacks, I've got Trevor Lawrence and Baker Mayfield. Running back, Bijan, Alvin Kamara, Tajay Spears. Wide receivers are Mike Evans, Nico Collins, Christian Kirk, Deontay Johnson, and Rashid Shaheed. And then tight ends are Kyle Pitts and, I guess, Jelani Woods. Nate has C.J. Stroud, Kirk Cousins. Then he has Travis Etienne, Tyler Algier, Jonathan Brooks. Then a wide receiver, Tank Dell, Michael Pittman, Chris Godwin, Darnell Mooney, and DeAndre Hopkins, who's still playing, I guess. And then the tight ends, he's got the Dutchman Dalton Schultz and Taysom Hill. Mark's team Friday nights. Mark's team, Anthony Richardson, Will Levis at quarterback is he's got a Colts combo here because his running backs are Jonathan Taylor, Joe Mixon, and Rashad White. Wide receiver is Chris Olave, Drake London, Stephon Diggs, Calvin Ridley, and Brian Thomas. And then the tight ends of Evan Ingram and Cade Otton. All right. Yeah, this one was kind of brutal, guys. Not going to lie, because I feel like there were a few really big names at the top, and then it just all becomes really bad. So this could be a low scoring one right here. So
I think it's money in the bank.
Yeah, you okay. If Anthony Richardson is healthy, you won this one. I will admit that. At least if he stays healthy, I think you've won it. But we'll just have to see. And again, I hope I'm wrong. I really do. I'm a Colts fan. I really hope I'm wrong. All right.
Was there anybody on there that we didn't draft that you could see making some noise?
Good call. Yeah, again, Kendre Miller. I like Kendre Miller at the running back spot. Maybe Tony Pollard, just because of the offense that they're in. I think that him and Tajay are going to be pretty similar. So I was kind of surprised to see that Nate didn't go with Tony Pollard there towards the end. But again, I love the Jonathan Brooks pick. I thought about taking him where I took Tajay, so similar there. And then that's probably it at running back. Trey Sermon kind of interests me, and I'll tell you why. The only reason is, again, jaded Colts fan here, but Jonathan Taylor just doesn't seem to have that gusto. And when he had he was cleared, not even injured, and he started the season off on the pup, or not the pup, but he missed the first 4 weeks. Some of it was contract related, but then he signed the contract and still missed a couple more games when he was healthy. It was so weird at the start of the season. And then about midway through the season, I forget what the injury was. It was like a hangnail or something. It was something that players never miss for. He missed 2 weeks. So, I feel like he's falling into that Andrew Luck mentality where he has millions of reasons to not play right now and to not further his injuries down the road. So he does kind of scare me. And because of that, Trey Sermon had 4 plays last year that just kind of blew my mind, where I'm thinking, where was this in San Francisco? Where has this been his whole career? Like, just real quick little 5-6 yard plays, but it's like the speed and the burst and the vision was incredible for Trey Sermon. And I'm like, where's this guy been? Like, why has he not been a thing? Because he was there before Christian McCaffrey was. So it's like, it's not because CMC was there that he's not a thing. It's just he never panned out there. Like, so Trey Sermon kind of interests me. What's that?
He didn't work in Philly either, and they have one of the best lines in the league.
Yeah, it's just weird to me. But he looked good, but also it may have been because it was, cleanup time and it was fourth quarter and it's Trey Sermon. Nobody's gonna care if he gets the ball. Like, maybe that's why. Like, I don't know, but see, wide receiver Devin Duvernay for the returns. I almost went that route.
Rich is saying Xavier Legette. I think a lot of people are kind of in on that train.
Yeah. Again,
what about Thielen? Anything left? He was still pretty productive last year.
He had a solid stretch of about 4 or 5 games there. For real. Yeah. I mean, that's
think
possible.
he was on my Scott Fishbowl team last year, so I guess I should have drafted him, picked him back up.
And if Will Levis does break out, look out for Tyler Boyd over there now, right?
Yep.
Yeah. Possible. Yep. And again, I'm not saying Will Levis is going to break out on an NFL level. I'm saying that for fantasy. So, yeah, to your point, for sure. Somebody's got to get the ball on the other end.
Yeah.
How about those tight ends? There's a lot of good, some quality left there. Foster Moreau.
Like I said, technically, Juwan Johnson's a starter. Mo Alley Cox is a starter. Chig is a starter. Tommy Tremble, was he a starter?
He's good. Tommy Tremble
Sanders
is a good
kind of a freak athlete.
Who?
Sanders is kind of a freak athlete. Like, if he falls with a rapport with Bryce Young and can pass Tommy Tremble, I hope so.
I don't know. No, I'm not telling you. He's a good ball player.
Yeah.
He's just kind of in a bad situation. Because Bryce Young is hard to see over the line when you're 5'8".
Tommy Tremble is my tight end 3 on my Madden team, and I have a very run-heavy offense. I run a lot of 3 tight end sets, and that dude is super slow, even in Madden.
Yeah. Hey, that's fine.
The quarterbacks, these guys are all guys that are good for QB3 to get you some fantasy points with potential. Well, no, actually just Derek Carr and Bryce Young.
Yeah.
And Joe Flacco, of course.
He left Joe Flacco out. You heard that, Nate, right?
Well, no, that's because I said these guys. That's because I said these guys are QB3s with the potential to get into that.
Yeah, because Joe Flacco's a QB1.
Now we're gonna go. Flacco's
he's locked in,
right? Yeah,
he's a locked in. He's a locked in.
Hell yeah.
All right. Do we need to talk about anything else before we split?
Now Canton right around the corner.
Yes, sir.
Can't
yes,
wait.
sir. 4 Airbnbs. We'll we might be able to do we're going to do a live fun day draft on that Saturday night for anybody that's there that wants to join or whatever. We're going to it might be big enough this year that we might even find a spot and do a goofy one, like on location somewhere, like at that other Jersey's, the one that's up by where our Airbnbs are. We might pop in there and do a fun day draft there live, in case anybody wants to jump in and join. That's going to be animals that we wish we were. So if you want to put together a list before you go to Canton of animals that you wish you were, well, we're going to draft it up. I know Rich is in on that. He does the fun day draft with us every week. But and also those of you that are not going to Canton that want in on it, we can just StreamYard you in and video it and we'll have fun with it. But yeah, then we always do a live show, usually on that Friday night, like an arrival show, maybe Thursday night. I forget, one of the two, Thursday night or Friday night, where we'll do a special episode, a special Canton episode, just talk about our trip, what we're looking forward to, that sort of stuff, all the different, maybe some of the stuff we're giving away. If you're on the T2T team, we're still looking for items to give away. So let me know if you got anything, and we'll get that out there on the table at the booth for a giveaway. We're going to get to watch the flag football. I haven't heard. I don't think that Des Bryant's coming back again this year. I wouldn't imagine. Kind of called that when all that went down with him on Twitter early in the off season. But it'll still be a lot of fun because like Des Bryant may have brought in a few more people to watch, but it wasn't any more entertaining last year than it was the previous year without him. Flag football is just fun to watch when it's a bunch of middle-aged guys like us out there trying to, just like Nate was talking about with the Olympics earlier. Yeah. So I don't know if that was before the show or not. I can't remember, but yeah. So Nate, tell them your idea because I think that's an incredible idea.
I can't take credit for this. Like, it was sent to me from a friend. I'm sure other people seen it, but where they just the U.S. would just send you a letter, like, a couple years prior to the Olympics, and be like, "Hey, you're signed up for this now." Like, not actual athletes, So like Justin's getting a letter in the mail. He's going to be doing archery in 4 years. Like, figure it out. Just like stuff like that. Like,
hey, I can handle a bow. I'm good with that one.
Right. And Mark's going to be on the 8-man rowing team. So it's just like it'd be funny. It'd be funny to like watch that. Like random people like. I mean, it sucked to watch me trying to do the steeplechase because I'd probably just fall in the water. But, it'd be hilarious.
Hey, if you tug a keg of Miller Lite in front of that rowboat, Mark's winning a gold. He's going after it.
I like that.
Justin, could you imagine, though, one of us getting the letter that says in 4 years we have to do pole vaulting or something like that?
That'd be great. That'd be awesome.
Sure. I'm going to stand right there at the starting block, and I'm going to throw that like a javelin.
Oh, yeah.
I'll be on Greco. I don't know what that means. What is Greco? Is that like a wrestling style?
Yeah, but see, you don't get a pick. You don't get a pick, Rich. They just send you. So it doesn't – it's like they just spin a wheel of doom. Like, you don't know what it's going to be, and you don't even know if you're getting picked. But, like, you might have to go play the 3-on-3 basketball. I suck at basketball, but hey, that's what they picked me for. So I gotta go represent my country.
the dream team, the nightmare squad.
Yeah, no shit. No, yeah.
All right, guys. I think that's it. I think we've done enough damage tonight. But next week we're going to draft the West. So the AFC West and the NFC West. It's Mark's Rams will be in that draft. We're going to have Chiefs players. There's some solid fantasy points for you. So hopefully some better outcome for next week's draft as far as options more deeper into the draft. But I'll get picked for high jump. That's for those of you that don't know, Rich is vertically challenged, so that's why that's funny. I think most people know. We usually remind everybody pretty regularly. So, all right. Well, for Nate, for Mark, I'm Justin. Thanks for tuning in. We'll see you guys next week.
Later.